Welcome to the today deep dive into the world of cybercrime. In today's video, we are exploring one of the most dangerous and rapidly growing trends in the cybersecurity, ransomware as a service or RaaS. By the end of this video, you will understand how this new from our cybercrime world, how it affects organizations, and what we can do to defend against it. Let's let let's let get started. So, introduction to ransom as a service. It is also known as RaaS. Intro, introduction to ransom as a service of RaaS. RaaS is the commercialization of ransomware. Access to ransomware tool for anyone willing to pay. Let's begin by defining ransom as a service or RaaS. Simply put, RaaS is a business model in the cyber criminal world. It allows individuals with little to no technique knowledge to launch ransom attack. Cyber criminals rent out ransom tools and service, and the one who buy this service often get a cut of the profit. Essentially, this opened the door to whole new generation of criminals. So RaaS is a model where cyber criminal can rent or purchase ransom tools. Growth of RaaS. In recent years, RaaS has become a prominent business model. So we move to the next slide, that is RaaS business model. So in this slide, how RaaS work business model. So in this slide, the popular of RaaS operation in the world are evil, Sodinkably and Conti, how these ransom groups operate and make money. Some of the most notorious ransom groups that are operating under this model included Arvil and Conti. These groups are responsible for some of the largest and most impactful ransom attacks we will see in the recent years. They offer a full suite of service to affiliates, included ransomware code, data exfiltration tools, and even the means of communications with victims. Let's explore how these operate typical world. So RAS operates versus affiliated. RAS operates on franchise model. Revenue sharing, typical these are the revenue sharing agreement. Subscription-based service. Some RAS provided offer subscription. Now we move to the next slide. How RAS works. So how RAS work step by step? RAS service setup, setup, delivery machine mechanism, ransom correction. Now let's break down the of, process of how a typical RAS operation works. First, the cyber criminals set up their ransom service. Once they done, the partner with affiliated who will deliver the malware to the victim. This affiliated can be anyone from hacker with limited experience to full-fledged cybercrime syndicate. Finally, after a successful infected, they collect a ransom. The entire operation from start to finish is a business transaction. So RaaS service setups. Cyber criminals sign up the RaaS platform, delivery machines, affiliation uses phishing email, malvertising, infected and encryption. Once the ransom is executed, so we move to our the next slide that is popular RaaS operation in cybercrime. How RaaS work? Infected encryption, infiltration and executing of the ransom, data encryption. Once the ransom is delivered to the target system, the next step is infiltration. The malware often finds its way into a system through phishing email. fake website, or vulnerability in the networks. Once inside, the ransom encrypted the victim data, rendering inaccessible without a description. This is the where the criminal demands comes into play. Once inside the ransom encrypted the victim data, rendering the accessible without encrypted key. In this way, the criminal demands come into play. The victim is then told to pay ransom and cryptocurrency to regain access to their filter. So this is the popular RaaS operation in cybercrime. Example: famous RaaS operation. Some well-known RaaS platform included Arvil, DarkSide. In 2021, Arvil was behind the high-profile Caseway ransom attacks. Now move to the next slide. The evolution The evolution of RaaS platform. From simple to sophisticated, RaaS platform have evolved over time. Customer support. Some RaaS provide offer support to affiliated. Now move to the next slide. That is how it affected organization. Targeting a business for all sizes. RaaS allow attackers to target both large organizations and small business. Impact on critical infrastructure. Ransom attacks have targeted critical infrastructure. Now move to the case study. The chronicle pipeline attacks. Pipeline attacks. Overview of the attack, impact of the enemy sector, lesson learned. One of the most high-profile RaaS attacks in 2021 when the Conical pipeline was hit by a ransom attack attributed to the dark side group. A RaaS operation, the dark led to widespread fuel shortage and panic buying on the east coast of the United States. The company ended by paying $4.4 million in ransom. All through the sum of the funds were later recovered. This attacker highlighted the vulnerability of the critical infrastructure and the widespread impact that ransom can have on society. In May 2021, the conical pipeline attack. Lesson learned. The attacker raised awareness of the dangerous. So we move to the next slide. That is role of cryptocurrency in RaaS. Financial cost of ransom attack. This impact of RaaS organization is significant. Beyond the immediate financial cost of paying a ransom, which can be the millions of dollars, businesses also face a reputation damage, lost customers, and operational downtime. These attacks can take down on entire organizations, network causing in delay in operations and loss of data. It is the costly and damaging from the cybercrime with long-lasting consequences. In the role of cryptocurrency in our autonomy and cryptocurrency. Cryptocurrency like Bitcoin and Monero challenging in the law enforcement, while law enforcement agencies are making progress. So we move to our next slide, that is detection and preventing RaaS attacks. Detecting and preventing RaaS attacks, early detection method, behavioral analysis, and anomaly detection. Now let's talk about defense. Detecting a ransom attacks early in the crucial to mitigation damage. One of the most effective way to detect RaaS is by monitoring network traffic for unusual activity or by using behavior analysis to spot abnormal actions. For example, if a large number of files are suddenly begin encrypted, that could be the red flag. So detection ransom early is crucial, preventing regular updating software and patching availability, implementing email filtering and anti-malware software, using least privilege access control. So this is the detecting and preventing RaaS attacks. Now we move to our next slide. That is best practice for organizations to defend against RaaS. So response to RaaS attacks using EDR, network segmentation and monitoring. In terms of response, organizations need to have a solid cybersecurity framework in place of endpoint detections and response EDR. Tools can help identify ransom attacks quickly. Additional network segmentation can help contain the spread of ransom once it's inside the networks. Constant monitoring is the key to catch these attacks before the escalated. These attacks before the escalated. So this is the best practices for organizations to defend against RaaS. Now we move to our next slide, that is response to RaaS attack. Incident response plan. A robotics incident response plan to vital. Communications with law enforcement after ransom attacks. It is essential to notify law enforcement. The So we move to our next slide, that is the future of RaaS. Will the RaaS model evolve, increase sophistication of attacks? In ransom group continue to profile for RaaS. It's expected that the model will only become more sophisticated. RaaS service will likely evolve to include more advanced features like tailored malware for a specific industry or new payment method. This makes it every harder of cybersecurity professionals. Let's make stop this attack to track down and stop these attacks. So this is the future of RaaS. A trend toward the more sophistication a technique involves, so will RaaS. Growing cybercrime economic, RaaS is just of another example of how cybercrime is evolving. So now we move to our next slide, that is conclusion. So before conclusion, response of virus attacks. In an organization hit by ransom attack, these are the few immediately steps that need to be taken. Incident response protocols should be actively, which typically included isolation effective system, analyzing the malware and determine whether to negotiate with the attackers. The goal is to minimize the impact that recovered data without paying the ransom. So we move to our next slide, that is conclusion part. Conclusion of or key takeaway. In conclusion, the rise of ransom as a service is a wake-up call recognition for all sizes. These attacks are highly profitable for cyber criminals, and as the model continues to evolve, we are likely to see even more sophisticated and targeted attacks. The best defense is proactive. Make sure your systems and encrypted your data is backup, and you are the staff is the trained and spot finishing attacks. Stay safe out there and be prepared. We will cover the how RaaS is enabling cyber criminals to profit from the ransom. Call to action. Stay protected.